Decide with your senses and not with your emotions. Sometimes ago, a young man was jailed for rape, but the surprising thing about his story was that throughout the several months of his jail term, he didn't have sex and he didn't die. So I said to myself, if he could outlive the months of rape punishment without having sex, it means he could have survived without having to rape his victim in the first place if he had reasoned with his senses rather than his emotions. Unbridled emotion is the highway leading to heaps of regrets. Come to think of it, no one will believe that a man like David, who once killed another man just to inherit his wife, 2 Samuel chapter 11, verses 1 to 27, and slew 200 Philistine giants just to marry a lady, according to 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 27, did not have sex with a beautiful damsel given to him for such a cause at a point in time. 1 Kings chapter 1, verses 1 to 4. It will also be so hard to believe that a man like Esau, who rated what to eat higher than his birthright at a point in his life, Genesis chapter 25, verse 30 to 34, will at another point in time have a plate of meal in his hands, but will not be able to eat it. Genesis chapter 27, verse 30 to 34. Here is my message. No appetite is stronger than the control of his victim, except the one powered by a spirit the victim permits, consciously or unconsciously. Please, do not wait till your response to your emotional needs pushes you into regret before you acknowledge that you hold the power to curtail your emotional desire. A larger percentage of actions motivated by emotions usually leads to regret because they aren't always stable and reasonable. Unbridled emotional satisfaction is the gateway to every addiction, while consistent reasonable questioning leading to the adequate understanding of the why, how, when, and where a thing should be done is the pathway to making a reasonable decision. When you act based on emotion, you will end up as a definition of foolishness, but you are considered wise when you take actions after careful reasoning. So come out of it and behave mature. How? Maturity is when you have all you need to acquire all you want, but you refuse to because it is not necessary. Immaturity in this regard, however, is buying all you feel like buying, not necessarily because it is a need, but because it is a want. And once you wander out of maturity by not engaging critical reasoning but responding to your emotions, you are only trending the path of a fool. But when you ignore your emotions to engage your senses in making decisions, you will be acknowledged as a wise man. Efficient use of senses instead of emotions in decision making is why an anointed man like Apostle Paul boldly and honestly say that all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. On the other way around, the engagement of emotion instead of reasoning in making decisions is why a hard-working man like Esau went ahead to say what is birthright compared to a plate of muscle. Genesis chapter 25 from verse 30 to 34. What a life! A fool becomes one because he is led by his emotion, while a wise man remains reasonable because of how he engages his senses. In conclusion, my friends, fill your mind with those things that are good and that deserve praise, things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Put them into practice, and the God who gives us peace will be with you. Philippians chapter 4 from verse 8 to 9. God bless you. Jesus is Lord. I need to